Hello, everyone, and welcome back to A Bag of Cats. I'm your host, Christ Bearer, the King Little Bell, Mutatus, Mutandis, Altruist, and Eternum. And on my last video, I left off with talking about how my sister's story has become inconsistent in relationship to the death of my father, Lance Corporal Douglas Clair Plyler. And it got very inconsistent. I was, you could say, grilling her. I was just asking her questions about what happened June 25th, 2007. And she would say that she was not in the house. She slept in the shop about 50 yards from the house. And then I brought up that, well, according to what you said on that day, you were sleeping in the house. And, well, she was in the house when my father was murdered by Daniel Converse and Timothy Dark. That's not his real last name, but it's the last name he gave me when I last spoke to this person. They are former inmates of Oregon State Correctional Institute. They're out and about now, walking amongst us, living up their criminal lives, becoming as criminal as possible. This is so difficult for me to do. I don't even, this is the third time I've tried to continue this video stream, but this time I will continue. So, I'm going to bring up the fact that my sister's bedroom window was broken, which would be where they broke into the house so they could murder my father with his own pistol. They knew that he slept with a 9mm Beretta under his pillow because my mother, Wanda Mae Plyler, or my sister, Sarah Louise Plyler, told them that. It was only my father, those two, and me that knew he slept with that gun under his pillow. He was a very calculated, secretive man who was murdered, and Oregon State Correctional Institute is responsible for it. The Marion County Sheriff's Department are part of the problem, and that day, June 25th, 2007, was, in hindsight, looking back on it, very weird. I remember just seeing Marion County sheriffs standing around like they were attending something they already knew about that they didn't want to be at and just wanted to hurry up and get going. And, it even came down to the chaplain on that day. He said that, my father would be in heaven. We would meet him, but I wouldn't say I'm a reader of the Bible because of how corrupted it has been made by man. And, it's like, oh, meet my dad in heaven. It's like, even I know if you take your own life, you do not get to go to heaven. My mother on that day was very weird. She wasn't acting like, well, my mom and my dad were going through a divorce because he didn't know this, I believe, but he figured out she was a narcissistic woman. she didn't care about anyone, especially her own children or her husband. She cared about sitting on her butt, stuffing her face with food my father provided, and doing nothing. I mean, the house was left in disarray. It was left with foulness all over the place, and she didn't take care of me or my sister. When my sister got in a car accident with Daniel Dewey and his friend Drew, she hit her head in the car accident, and that led to brain damage that my mother didn't do. She didn't care. She didn't do anything to find out. Her excuse, her go-to excuse is, well, it's up to God. Well, that's not exactly how it works. Yeah, everything's all part of God's plan, and it's a perfect plan, one that one must honor and respect and remember. But we are all here on earth, children of God, and when it comes to being a mother, she just did not care to lift a finger to take care of my sister, and things would be very different. Granted, I believe my sister is also a narcissist, and she has the exact same excuses that my mom has, and has no accountability. She just is checked out and helped two convicted felons murder my father. I believe now she has a handler or handlers that make sure she gets what I believe is fake medication, because sometimes they give it to her, sometimes they let her take it herself. Sometimes it's a clear liquid, sometimes it looks like milk. And I pay attention to the dropper she uses to take this liquid that she just puts in her mouth. And sometimes it's 15 micrograms, sometimes it's 25, sometimes, anyways, it's inconsistent, completely inconsistent. And every one of her caregivers, they just, to me, act, speak, and function like criminals. And yeah, the level of information my father had on all the crime happening in Oregon, right through Oregon State Correctional Institute, is now gone because of me. I allowed one of them to take all of the paperwork. I had no idea. And for the rest of my life, I'm going to hate myself for allowing that to happen. And I can point the finger at my dad, but I gotta remember I have 3 pointed right back at me. So, yeah, it's my fault. At least that's how I will perceive it for the rest of my life. And this is a very tough video to make because I'm racking my brain trying to remember all the details, but the memory is not as solid as I wish it was. Anyways, this is going to be part 2 to the first one. This is all I can say, other than fuck those pieces of shit. Oregon State Correctional Institute, aka Oregon State Computer Institute, because that's where we let convicted felons just do whatever they want on the internet. And they are plugged into everything. They have ability to see and manipulate everything connected to the internet. And as far as I know, and as far as I'm concerned, this is a video that doesn't see the light of day for anyone else, except for them. But if what I'm saying is making you sweat, perfect. Glad to do that.